Welcome, everybody. So we literally just wanted to do a hello because the world is changing, life is changing, the planet is changing, politics, I don't know if it's changing, but something different. Sonia, hello, sweetness. So we really just wanted to get on here and ask you, like, how y'all doing and what's up in your world and what can we contribute to you today? Because really, like, I know for me, the last couple months has been, I was joking with a friend yesterday on the river, went on this river, just amazing, right? We've got tons of fires in Colorado, which is a little insane. It's making everything really smoky, but it's also making for really beautiful sunsets and really beautiful, like the color of the moon at night is insane. And I was talking with a friend the other day. I was like, it's so interesting. I found Access 8 years ago. And for 8 years, I pretty much have been happy pants. Like, yes, I have my moments of like going through hard times and everything happens. And um, these last couple months, I've probably had like something where I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever spent this much time in something that feels hard personally. And it was really interesting just like to be a facilitator and to show up and navigate that wall. It's been hard on me. It's like you still can show up. But my happy pants went in the washing machine for like a month. My happy pants were not around. So I'm glad to be putting my happy pants back on. And so we literally just wanted to say hi to you and see what's up in your world and what can we contribute. And that's it. And hi to those of you in the chat. Don't be shy. You can come off mute.
Hey, babes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. I've had a lot on the go. I resonated with you in your other video about having things around you and this demons or spirits of not wanting us to step out in our voices. And it's been almost clamping me shut. And maybe just some tools on how we can push through some of the pull back to keep pulling energy. Like you said, I'm usually that happy pants and things are moving and beautiful. And I just felt like almost barfing, stuck in the energy that if I spoke, something from my past or future would get thrown out of whack. So it made me really hesitant.
Well, if it wasn't wrong, what's it facilitating you to choose?
I don't know. How do I tell them to leave? How do I get them to go away?
Well, if a stranger's in your house, what do you do?
I don't know. I live on a farm. I've never had a stranger in my house. No, that's true. I don't know. I'm still that welcoming person. I'd still like to know why they're here. What can I learn from them? And not wanting to assume that is bad energy, but I know that it is. It just doesn't feel good.
Well, are they here to contribute to you?
Oh.
Do they want something from you?
So if you're here to contribute and generate and create for me, you can stay. If you're not, leave. Return to sender.
Yeah. I mean, anything we make significant, we make ourselves smaller than it.
Right. Oh, okay.
So how small do you have to make you to make the problem bigger than you? Right? Like, who's the biggest energy in the room?
So if I could be the expanse of me, how much more could I create and how quickly would they leave? Not wanting. Like my potency? I don't know.
Well, stop trying to use here. And this is true for all of us. It's like in the 3-day body class that Gary created, so there's the 3-day body class and then there's the 3-day advanced body class. And in that class, it talks about how dis-ease, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, pain cannot live in a body that has 100% spherical cells. Dis-ease, so a spherical cell is 100% round, right? Dis-ease can only live in a body that has elliptical crushed cells, right?
So can I ask for more spherical molecules in my body?
Well, you're being an elliptical energy that allows things to invade your potency.
Okay.
So, yeah. So how many of you are allowing yourselves to be at the effect of other people's energies, other people's opinions? I mean, most of us are like, okay, COVID, we've got the tools, we've got access, we can survive this. And now it's freaking 5 months into COVID and people are like, fuck this. What the heck?
And
Travel the world. When can I go to other parts of the planet? When, like, this is the first time in 10 years I have gone 8 months without being on a plane. I'm usually on a plane every month, and I'm usually in another country all the time. So, so why I'm saying that is how many of you have allowed yourselves to diminish your energy, right? Demons cannot invade, entities cannot invade a being that's 100% potent, light, infinite, no problem. But here's the deal, is when gets us down and stress gets us down and our immune system starts to break down, we go, oh, not right, not wrong. We all get sick. We all go through depression. We all have moments of anxiety. We all freak out about the future. It happens. I don't care how much of an infinite being you are. You still live in a crazy, on this planet reality, and it happens to the best of us. I mean, I've been 8 years of happy pants, and for 2 months I was like, what is this energy? And I couldn't figure it out, but I also wasn't making it wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I've been asking for more awareness. I haven't really been, I don't feel like I've been judging that it was right or wrong. Just, ooh, like, ooh, what is this? And this isn't normally something that affects me.
So who's more potent? You, like, and
Fuck.
to be more potent.
Fuck off.
And that's really the information. Like for all, it's like if we don't make having a bad day wrong, if we don't make the fact that there's a demon sleeping in your bed with you, if you don't make the fact that there's a rat's nest in the corner of your barn, like, so what? Cool. Judy says,
Awesome, thanks.
You're so welcome, Renee. And yeah, I mean, it's also asking questions from that place of, if you are the most dominant energy in your life.
Ooh.
Right? Because most of you are like, oh, I'm not as dominant. And so I want to talk a little bit about, I am so weird. Yes, Judy, I am. But it's like, this morning I was talking to NJD every day, which is every day, 5 days a week. We get on for 15 minutes. We frack, all the stuff, we destroy and uncreate our business, our money flows, our bodies, food, like, and one of the things I said is, how many of you have decided that you don't make a difference in the world? Like we have an election coming up in the US, and people are like, oh, it's not going to matter. Trump, like, people are already talking about Trump's going to win. Oh, it's not going to matter. And I'm like, that point of view means that you're not like, so I was looking at the fires in Colorado. There are fires in Colorado so bad that the sky is so smoky And so I was looking at, wow, where have I decided my energy can't actually change and open up a different possibility for the planet? I can open up the different possibility for all of you and people's bodies, but I never bothered to look at my energy could also change the smoke in the air. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I willing to be that different? So, how many of you have decided that you don't make that big of a difference in certain areas? Like, you don't make that big of a difference in politics. You don't make that big of a difference. Like, oh, you're just on a farm in Canada, eh? Like, you don't make that big of a difference. And that actually is an unkindness to what we came here to be for the planet. And as always, if we do it together, how much more do we create? When we try to do it alone, what the heck happens? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, well, with that POC pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and girls. And if those of you are listening and you're like, what did you just say? It's the access consciousness clearing statement. Yeah, Judy says we go into our minds and we fuck ourselves. Exactly. But you guys, if you're the most dominant energy in your life, what do you want to choose? So Judy says, I'm going to say, I wonder how much we are changing this reality. I'm exhausted at times, or maybe how much me and my body are readjusting to the new reality. Yep. Or how much I'm resisting change instead of embracing it. That one is the loudest. How much are you resisting change instead of embracing it? And then, yes, totally get out of the limitations of our minds. So, for all of you, if change wasn't a big deal, what does change want to invite you to choose? I think, what is it, this week we've got a 3.5-day class coming up. We have an intro class. It's just 2 hours and it's called Are You Too Big for This Reality? And so most of us were taught not to be the most dominant energy in the room. Don't be too loud, don't be too obnoxious, don't dress the loudest. And what if it is like, if you're willing to acknowledge that your energy literally could be the instigator of change? So I wonder, Judy, for you, how much your energy is actually an instigator of change. And if you didn't resist being an instigator of change, right? But right now,
Totally.
yeah. But right
But
now,
even when you said, like, what is this energy? Because I've been doing that, like, but that's not the question, is it?
not always, because we think we need to know what an energy is in order.
And then we can categorize it according to the past, right? And put it in the mind and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So how do we explore the energy? Because it's all new energies, eh? And it feels really awkward and unfamiliar, and that's why I resist it, I guess, or I just like do that on habit. I don't.
Yeah, well, that is an awesome question. So I'm wondering if together we'd be willing to destroy and uncreate any past reference points of familiarizing ourselves with energy, period. Like, we are literally opening up into a new reality. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so, like, because as a baby, did you have past reference points?
No.
No. I mean, you might have had an awareness of all of the energies of your past lives. You might have had an awareness of your potency, but you didn't have a frame of reference for you in relationship to this reality at this time. And so babies, it's why people love babies, because babies are like, ah, and they're so freaking curious, and all they want to do is be energy. They don't go, oh, let me figure, like, and what's really cool with babies is even with their vision literally does not come in until a month, 2 months in. So for the first several weeks of an infant, they literally cannot see your facial expressions. They can't see your eyes. All they see is your color and your energy. And so how many of us waste, I'm going to say waste our time trying to put energies into a frame of reference we can understand. And how much is that actually a waste of time? Because what you're doing is you're standing under an energy as if that energy is bigger than you.
It's actually detrimental. Yeah.
It's also a waste of time, because what you're doing is, if I'm trying to figure out an energy, but all I have to go on is my past frames of reference, I then am relating to that energy as if I'm my past. As if I was the person I was yesterday. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. So my friends, how much is this like functioning? Welcome everybody as you're joining. So how much is this functioning from let me get energy right?
So as we break and uncreate our relationship with ourselves every day and our spouse and all the things we do, I've never included energy in that before. Ooh, and how much could that change my relationship?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Cool.
And so friends, how many of you have spent your lives refusing to be the most dominant energy on the planet in your life? Waiting for people to acknowledge you, waiting for a stroke of luck, waiting for somebody to see you, waiting for your blue avatar to meet you right where you are, right? Sonia says, not me.
So it's kind of like, for me, I should be spending about 10 minutes a day just validating myself.
Yeah, and I would say acknowledging yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I had someone the other day reach out to me and just say, Katherine, thank you so much. Like you have been facilitating topics before Access started facilitating topics. Like, and this has been true for me my whole life. I somehow am an energy where I can see 20 years into the future. I'm not cognitively doing it. I'm like, can we talk about this topic? Can we talk about this topic? So, we've been fracking insanity for 10 months. We've been talking about, are you too big in this reality for the last, I don't know, 6 weeks. I've been, talking about energy. I mean, so not right or wrong. It's just when I have been willing to acknowledge the difference, then all awareness becomes available. Because the reality is we're all tapped into a universal awareness. I'm not any more special. I'm just willing to talk about it. I'm just willing to put my life on the chopping block of a different possibility. And sometimes it's not comfortable. And so, how many of you have been hiding behind you don't yet know, or you're not quite sure, or not all the pieces of the puzzle have come together? So everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pod, all nine shorts, boys. And Sonia's so cute. She says, Catherine, I told you you were ahead of Gary and Dane not long ago. Yes, you did. And you know, I just love talking about consciousness. I also have been willing to fuck my life up pretty royally and still dust myself off and get up. I mean, yesterday I was on my SUP board and I got smacked really hard in the lip. So no, I didn't get lip fillers. These aren't injections. This is a giant SUP board that smacked me in the mouth yesterday. So if you weren't hiding or waiting to be validated or acknowledged, and you chose to be dominant in your world, would anything matter?
Well, what is the difference? Why are some people able to do that and some people it's a big fucking effort?
Well, how much are you afraid? Like that's a great question, Judy. For everybody, it's probably different. And I would say it's their excuses where we make our excuses bigger than our possibilities. So if you look at the future, do you get excited to look at the possibilities? Or are you constantly looking at the roadblocks, preparing for all the roadblocks that are going to pop up in your quest for possibilities?
It kind of shifts all the time. It's everything. Sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm there.
Yeah, and so I wonder for each of you that are listening, what's true for you, and are possibilities more real or are problems more real?
You know, for me, I have to say, I don't function the way a lot of people function. And because that's so, I don't even acknowledge that. So, because I'm being that.
Well, what if you took 5 seconds right now and just acknowledged it?
Yeah, yeah. But what if we don't even need to acknowledge it? Like,
You just ignored me.
I know, I said butt, eh? My butt.
Like,
Big
yeah,
butt.
whatever. I don't need to.
Yeah, I know.
But here's the deal. That is the energy of I'm going to pay more attention to the solidified, logical, I need to
Okay.
figure this
Well,
out, versus the space of possibility where the brain cannot engage.
okay. I like that.
So, Judy, if you literally could not engage your brain,
It would be fabulous. Frontal lobotomy, eh? Like,
yes.
yeah.
So, for like right now, you're being that space.
Yeah, just getting into the body. I heard a really cool thing. When we're looking up, we're going into the mind. So if we look down, that's a way of getting into the body. So that is weird, eh? Because I've never been able to look at people in, like some people, I can look at them in the eye and have a conversation with them. But lots of times I'm like looking up, and then I've noticed I'm really aware of this now. So I notice other people and certain cultures, they never look people in the eye. They always look down when they're talking, which is interesting, hey?
Yeah, and in reality, none of it's right, none of it's wrong. It's more, what function is this serving, and is it working for me? So if you're the most dominant energy in the room, and I always use Elon Musk as an example, right? Because I personally know him. I personally know how freaking wacky and crazy he is, right? Now, if you asked Elon if he knows me, he'd probably have no clue who I am, right? But I was at his opening Tesla party. I worked for, like, with him. I worked with his brother anyway. And so I use him as an example. Want to say hi to everybody? I use him as an example because he's willing to be the most dominant energy on the planet for the change he knows is possible. In one of his interviews, someone said, well, like, Elon, what gives you... Are you talking about me? No, I'm not talking about you. So in one of his interviews, someone said, Elon, what gives you the right to, like, launch a rocket to Mars? Like, who are you? He goes, I don't know. I just know that there's a different possibility. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I know there's a different possibility. And if I'm not going to do it, who will? And so yeah.
So how could we be the boulder to cause that ripple effect? If we were...
Well, what if you were just willing to be the boulder and you didn't worry about the ripple effect?
Ah, gotcha.
Most of us are worried about the ripple effect, and then we're altering the impact we make based on the conclusion or the projection or the expectation of the ripple effect.
Right.
So
how much fun could I have being the boulder with no point of view about being the boulder?
Yes.
Shit just got real up in here. What does that change for anyone?
Well, exactly. And
be your full voice. Yeah. Thanks, Katherine.
You're welcome. But because it's interesting, like, even when I talk about willing to be the most dominant energy, how many of you have judgments that come up around what that means for you? I love you guys. Look at all these comments. I know. I would agree. Wendy says, Miss Judy on Zooms, you always add clarity. It's true. It's true. But here's the deal is you all add clarity, whether you say anything or not. Sometimes the most dominant energy in the room is the silent one.
Katherine,
Please.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Marisol, you might have to turn off your video because your audio is coming in half-ass. And for those of you on Facebook, where I went it live in the private No Judgment Diet party. So welcome, you guys. I'll put a link in here where you guys can sign up and get the recording to this. So people are asking if we'll send out the recording. We might not. We'll see. No point of view, no reference points. Oh.
Can you listen to me or I put this?
Can you take your video
I'm
off
sorry, can you
and hear your audio?
I take my video as like this?
Yeah, then I think your audio is going to come in clear.
Okay. So it's been like a deep process, knowing, acknowledging where I judge myself for being too big. So when you said if I'm able to be the dominant energy, wow, it really allowing myself to actualize my reality.
Exactly.
So that's a big, deep process, life-changing process. Stop judging me, stop projecting from me, stop and just actualizing what I judge, where I judge myself to be or not allowed myself to be. So I guess I want to thank you. That's what I want to do. I want to thank you of this big process that I'm with you and with everybody. And thank you. Thank you so much. And what would it take for me to be willing to be the dominant energy of a new reality?
Ding. Well, and I love that question, Marisol. She says, what would it take for me to be the dominant energy of a new reality? And I'm like, what would it take for you to be the dominant energy of your reality? Because that is creating a new reality. You guys don't get that your reality creates a new reality.
Exactly.
But most of you are like, oh, but my reality is different. My reality doesn't fit into this world. No shit, Sherlock. It's supposed to not fit. Elon Musk's reality doesn't fit in. It creates something new. So everywhere you are dumbing down the possibilities of your creations, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And so you're so welcome, Marisol. And I think like that's kind of why we wanted to come on and say hi and really truly ask you guys, like I'm not meaning to facilitate, more just have a conversation of like, what is it? What contribution can we be to you? Because there is a massive change happening. And there is a door opening for you to choose something that you haven't chosen before from no frame of reference. It's actually consciousness is asking us to be undefined. I was in a I'm going to call it this reality training this weekend, and I was popping in and out. I didn't really show my video much. I was listening while I was like playing with Duke and getting some work done, and I just wanted to like perceive the energy. And it was so fascinating because I've been to 50, 60 trainings, live events, this reality, like where they basically like it's set up all the same. They get really excited. They tell you who you are. They tell you what you're going to experience over the weekend. And then slowly but surely, they bring in testimonials of people that have experienced paying privately for the person that's on the stage. And then they give you just enough information. And I was like, wow, how different is access? Because access is like, here's the information. We're not trying to upsell you. We're not trying to convince you. We're not like literally, we're inviting you to choose. Choose or don't, it doesn't matter. And so it was really fascinating because the whole weekend I was like, wow, I've seen this spiel in this way from this setup from so many different famous coaches around the world. And it was like, it had the energy, and I could perceive that people like in their worlds were going, right? Because it's all kind of the same. And the reality is, my friends, none of you are the same. And so if you weren't looking to fit where you make sense to the world, Elon does not make any sense to anybody. Yeah, Judy says, everywhere I'm avoiding uncomfortable in order to fit in. What makes you go to those events? Well, that particular event, I secretly want to be a singer. And I'm the most tone deaf person I know. So actually it's about using your inflection and your voice and using like your resonance and your tones to make a bigger impact in the world. And so I went to really get some information for myself on, am I actually willing to be the voice I came here to be in the world? And so I like learning and finding, like, you know, I think I paid $200 for the weekend. And so I actually wasn't really present for a lot of it. I signed up to get the recordings in the future. So I'm like, I'll listen to those recordings and allow that information to download into my body. So as the book gets out in the world, as this work gets out in the world, I can be clearer with making a bigger impact. And POC that it has to do anything from this reality. But you are the voice, Kath. Yes, I am, Sonia. And we can always improve. Because being on a TED Talk as autistic Katherine might not make the biggest impact. It might, who knows, right? So yeah, it's congruency. It's also a choice to go beyond my own comfort zone. Speaking access and delivering this information is my comfort zone, right? Going beyond my comfort zone, something totally different. Yeah. So Marianelle is asking, and I believe there was somebody else asking a question. I might have missed it. Oh, Elke asked a question. Where was it? How to perceive this dominant me. Hold on, you guys, 1 second. Okay, sorry guys. We interrupt this broadcast. so it like the question about being the dominant energy is so Elgie's asking how to perceive this dominant me. So it's really interesting. Most of you probably judge the thing that's most dominant about you. And most of you probably hide the thing that is the easiest that everyone else can see about you. Is that light? Okay. And then most of you are working really hard to try to use your head to figure out what that is. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Woo, baby, right, wrong, good, bad, POC pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Instead of just being it.
So you guys, you don't need to figure you out in order to be it.
God, we'd be such good little girls, eh? Fuck me. Fucking over that.
You don't need to figure it out. Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What else is possible? Right? And so where's that question? Someone else asked a question. Can you talk more about what is the dominant energy and what isn't? Well, so I can give you an example from my own life, right? Which is as a business owner for 8 years, there have been moments where I've wanted everybody I work with to have an equal say in possibilities for the company and possibilities for everything. And when I give everybody an equal say, nobody knows where we're going. And actually, over the last 2 months, that's what I did. I was like, oh, but we've been going somewhere. Like we were on this amazing train. And I was like, okay, what do you guys think? And the train went, because I was like, oh, I don't want to be the dominant energy. But the truth is, I know where I want to go. So if Elon Musk was not willing to be the most dominant energy, right? So it's literally, it's a knowing as well as an inviting. So I heard Gary say this, and Gary and Dane, they used to fight about money, or they used to get into squabbles about it. And Gary was saying how, you know, Dane's like, we need to fix this money thing. And Gary goes, I'm not sure it's about money. And Dane said, I don't like that I don't have control over how much you spend and what you spend money on. And Gary looked at him, he's like, well, that will never happen. You'll never be able to control what I spend money on and what I don't spend money on. And so it wasn't a money issue they were squabbling about. It was a control. And Gary said, I will never give up the choice to create greater in my life. But when we're not willing to be the dominant energy, how much do we give up the choice to create greater in our lives? So dominant doesn't mean bulldozer. Dominant literally could be a space of silence that people don't know what to do with.
Wow. So dominance is being the space.
Yes.
And being like a vulnerable space, huge vulnerable space.
Yeah. And then it's also the willingness to be any energy that's required in the moment with no fucking point of view. And so the place where most humanoids lock themselves up is that they've decided that in order to be the most dominant energy, they need to be validated for what they cannot see, but they know is there. I'm kind of giving away a little bit of the energy of Wednesdays and actually this weekend, the 3.5-day live event, because that's sort of where we're going to go. It's, you know, it's the, like, you guys are invited to begin to choose what is it you want to create. And when you recognize nothing is in the way. Like, and I say this a lot, and I've been saying this for the last couple months, like if a tree falls in the road and you're driving on the road and the tree is in your way, and let's say it's not blocking the whole road, but it's blocking your part of the road, you don't pull over on the side of the road and go, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? This tree's in the way. I need to get out of the car and fit and pock and pod myself or clear the energy because, man, I must have really bad karma that this tree's in my way. No, a tree's in the way and you're like, what's the quickest way around this fucking tree? And yet every day we have trees that fall in our path. It's not personal. You didn't do anything wrong. The universe isn't conspiring against you. You don't have bad karma. It's just go around it, okay? And what's the quickest way? Around it, over it, under it, through it, right? And then the other thing that humanoids do is we go, oh my God, this tree's in my way. Can we have a conversation? Oh, I really need to understand why this tree is here. Because if I can understand why this tree is here, then I can use all of my force and pick the tree up and move the tree out of my way. It's insane. Like, you guys get the analogy, right? That is what we do. And it's like insane. Insane. I'm going to say that again. It's insane. So it's the willingness, right? Are you too big for this reality, right? 3.5 day class coming up. We've got next month, September 2nd, we're doing, I've never done this before. We're doing 6 months of, I don't even want to call it freaking coaching. It's not coaching, but we, a couple months ago, did a course called Fuel Your Future. And I wanted to see what would happen to people's worlds if every day for an hour we got on a Zoom like this and we explored topics to literally change your future. And so instead of packing it all in a 3-day class, we went, what would it be like if we did it 1 hour a day? And literally we didn't go over an hour. We were like, and some of you were on it and it changed your whole worlds, right? And so we're actually going to do it for 6 fucking months because I'm like, I want the rocket ship that allows people to go, yes, right? And so many people reach out like, can I do private coaching with you? And I'm like, honestly, 6 months of fuel will probably get you 1,000 times farther in your universe than private coaching with me. Because I want to take hundreds of people to a different future, or thousands if they choose it, right? Judy says, I have an old van and was driving it this weekend on a trip and the reverse and overdrive quit working. I had to stop and have moment, poor me, and then got on with it with no problem. Yeah, laughing is a super capacity. Exactly. Exactly. And so I love this conversation, my friends. And, I really just wanted to say hi because it's been, I don't know, some of you I haven't seen in a while. And we wanted to there is a change happening on the planet right now. And the old way of using tools to change your life, you're being invited to recognize you're the tool. You're the source. You're the energetic information that is the change. And anything that has you thinking that's not true is a lie. Right? Do you guys feel that energy in your bodies when I say that? You are the tool. And then you're like, oh, wait, I need another tool. Great, use it. But you are the source that literally can open up the door to not just changing your life, but changing everybody around you. And so my invitation, we do have an election coming up. And it does impact the world. We do have a lot of things happening on the planet. And in the US, it's summertime and it's fire season. So there's a lot of fires happening. But there were also a ton of fires happening in Australia, right? Several months ago, back in January, February. And so my invitation to each of you is, what dominant energy, December, thank you, Carol, could you be that is the instigator to change? Just by knowing that like every time that you're willing to think and expand your energy out to the entire planet, how much does that change the planet? But most of you are like, it's just about me.
Catherine, can you talk about being the dominant energy in any situation, and how does that work with the kingdom of we?
So if I was willing to be the most dominant energy to invite a greater possibility, and somebody wants to judge me, do I make them wrong? No, they're just a flea on
Oh,
the
you just, and you include them. You
yeah.
include that judgment. Yeah. Okay, cool. Nice.
So being
Okay.
dominant energy is not an exclusionary reality. Being the most dominant energy is an inclusionary reality. And it's also knowing that, like, so for me, if I have a target for where I want to go on the planet in my life with the book that'll be out in a couple of months, like I have an idea. But if someone gently steers me or knocks me off my course and it's actually the course I'm supposed to be on, if I'm thinking I have to like be steadfast in my conclusion of where I want to go, that's not being a dominant energy. That's being an asshole.
It's also like looking at resistance, eh? You know, and no resistance, really. And that's hard. That's a tough,
Well,
that's a
and
tough one
for
for
that,
me.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
like, oh, I'm all about resistance.
well, is there any resistance in interesting point of view? And so if interesting point of view was the most dominant energy, what would be available to your worlds? And then, are you too big for this reality? Damn straight. How can you use it to your advantage? So, my friends, if you're feeling stuck, hopefully this little tidbit opened the door or wedged you into knowing some other choices available. And, you know, I like to say, if you're feeling stuck, what's the easiest choice you can choose to let go?
What is that? Say that again.
Exactly. How many of you put on your boxing gloves when you feel stuck?
Oh,
You
yeah,
think
totally.
you need to
Yeah.
fight through the muck rather than let go. Consciousness doesn't require you to fight against your limitations. That's a meme. Consciousness does not require you to fight against your limitations, but most of you fight either for or against your limitations rather than fighting for the dominance of possibility. Possibility is the strongest energy on the planet, but most people don't want to play with it because they don't understand it, because they can't control it. You cannot control possibility. You can only play and invite and encourage possibility. I think that whole thing is a like bottle of memes. Thank you, Ebony. She says that I was just going to say that's a meme. It is a meme. And so my friends, yeah, interesting point of view in space and how that relates. Consciousness does not require you to fight against your limitations. Exactly. Consciousness is an invitation for you to play with possibilities. So my friends, it's just a choice. That's it. We need more playing. Exactly. Exactly. So you guys, thank you so much for coming on here and being in energy and asking your questions. And, you know, we are here to contribute to you because we can't do it alone. And most of us are like, oh, but I have to figure out my gifts on my own. No, you don't. But no one can tell you what they are. You just have to be willing to find out what they are. Please choose to give us a replay because I choose to receive it. We will. So if you guys are watching this, so I'm on Facebook Live on the No Judgment Party, right? If you guys are watching this, and we'll put a sign up link to our email list. If you're on our email list, we'll send out the recording. If you're not on our email list, we'll put a link where you can sign up for our email list. And we'll put also in the email just the 2 upcoming possibilities. You guys are welcome to come to the taster. It's 2 hours. It's $50 US on Wednesday. Pretty awesome. 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. The weekend is 3 full days. And y'all, I have no idea where we're going to go in 3 days. All I know is this energy and being willing to be the dominant energy, being willing to be too big, and you being too big is what creates the change. So we're going to dive into that in a way I never have before. So who knows where we'll go? I just know we're going to go somewhere. And then we'll also put the invitation for Fuel Your Future, which is the 6-month course that starts on September 2nd. And oh, baby, all I got to say is with Fuel is it never shows up the way you think it's going to, my friends. Here's to uncharted, glorious territories. Amen, my friends. You guys, thank you for being here. So can we together just be, I don't know how to explain it, but there's a door open for us to be an energy that invites the earth, invites consciousness, and yeah, whatever that is. I don't really have words for it. Can you guys all perceive it? And all of you are going to perceive it in your own knowing. So if we just expand our energies all the way out. Wow. And so on 3, whatever that energy you're aware of that is the invitation for the earth, for the planet, for the ocean, for politics, for people, for child trafficking, for all the insanities, there we go. Can consciousness be the most dominant energy? And where are you, one of the most dominant energies in consciousness, and you keep hiding that? Okay, so we're going to do a 3, and then we're going to do a 4. Ooh, baby. And acknowledge ours and each other's gifts, whatever they are or will become. Exactly. So on 3, my friends, because you don't need to know it to be it. It doesn't need to be clear for it to get transmitted out to the world. You don't need to define it for it to be definitive. The opposite is true. There we go. On 3. Woo, baby. 1, 2, 3. And on 4. 1, 2, 3. All right, my magical friends. I'm so grateful for you. Go out and having a magical day. Thank you for this hour.
Thanks so much.
Oh, you guys are so welcome. So keep being. And what else is cool?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye.
Thank you.